Hello everyone! This time I'm starting a new series where I cook with my currently 3-year-old son. We will begin with his favorite recipe, peanut butter cookies. The first thing to do is to preheat the oven to 180 degrees Celsius. Every step that involves the oven or hot materials will be handled by me alone. The star of this recipe is the peanut butter, 500 grams of it. I'm using a brand whose only ingredients are peanuts and salt. To sweeten my cookies, I'm using 200 grams of granulated erythritol and stevia mix. I'll also be using 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, the juice of half a lemon, and some eggs that I forgot to get footage of. My son will be helping me with mixing the ingredients. This is his favorite part, and I want to encourage him to help. Unfortunately, if he was the one stirring, we would end up with lumpy dough. I trust his skills will develop with age. The first step is to mix the sweetener or sugar with the peanut butter and stir until smooth. I encourage all parents to allow their kids to help in the kitchen. It's an enriching and educational process for both child and parent. Just make sure to keep the kids away from sharp and/or hot objects. Next, I'll add a whole egg. Always break your eggs into a quarantine recipient, in case you get a random spoiled egg. I'm also adding the egg whites left from the carbonara slaughter. I'm putting the card on the top right corner in case you want to check that video. While mixing the eggs, I'll ask my son to drop the baking powder in the bowl, followed by the baking soda. Keep mixing to incorporate everything. From this point onward, I find it easier to start kneading with my hands, rather than stirring with a spoon. For some reason, my son doesn't seem to like the feeling of the dough on his hands. When the dough is homogeneous again, I ask for the lemon juice. Besides adding some moisture, the acid will react with the baking soda and make the cookies lighter and softer. Knead until all the juice is incorporated. It might get slightly sticky. Keep scraping the sides of the bowl and folding the dough into itself. When it resembles a crumbly short dough, it's ready to shape. Prepare a white tray lined with baking parchment. These cookies will be very soft when I remove them from the oven, so I prefer to bake them on a stable surface, rather than a baking sheet. With this dough, you have to shape the cookies prior to baking. I like to roll them into a ball and press onto my palm to give them a disc shape. This way I get crunchy edges with a tender center. I'll hand a couple of pieces to my son for him to shape. When baking with a 3-year-old, you're not going to get consistent shapes. Just try to get similar sizes so everything bakes at the same rate. Try to keep some distance between the cookies as they will expand while baking. With the tray full, place it in the oven for 10 minutes. More than that and you risk burning. When ready, your kitchen will smell like toasted peanuts. I like to keep batches of these cookies when I'm on a keto cycle. They are quite filling and satisfy the urge for something sweet without actually having sugar. If I'm not on keto, I'll just swap the erythritol for the same amount of brown sugar. The cookies will look and feel soft and undercooked as you take them out of the oven, but will settle and harden as they cool. Since I don't own a proper cooling rack, I use an elevated grill from another cooking tray I have. I'll bake a second batch while these cool down. Since I only baked these cookies once, they are a bit on the soft side. You can bake them a second time at a lower temperature to harden and extend the shelf life. But since these won't see the end of the week, I'm not concerned, and I actually prefer them this way. If you have one of those sewing kit tins that you are not using, you can keep the cookies inside. And as all other kids, my son darts off when it's time to clean things up. Thank you for watching. Please leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and we hope to see you on the next one.